The NOLA Gold have the flair for the dramatic this season as their last 3 games have all ended with a game-winning score on the very last play. The Gold have come out on top in 2 of those 3 matches and sit atop the Major League Rugby standings. Today, the Gold return to the Crescent City and face the Utah Warriors. The Gold played Utah in the snow a month ago and squeaked by with a 21-19 victory. Major League Rugby is straight ahead. The Utah Warriors and NOLA Gold coming up next on CSD. Live from Gold Stadium in New Orleans, Louisiana, Cox Sports Television is proud to present NOLA Gold Rugby. Today, the NOLA Gold take on the Utah Warriors. Hey, welcome to Gold Stadium. I am Scott Alexander. There's no Ian McNulty today, but we are definitely full of capable analysts in the booth. You all know the guy on my left. I'll get to him in a second. But this is Jeff Ormsby. He is a longtime rugby coach here in New Orleans. In fact, he has 2 national championships to show for it in 2013 and 14, and also a longtime player in Australia as well. We have an Australian right here, and you probably recognize him from playing with the NOLA Gold. For the last 2 seasons, he's been a starter, but he's injured right now, so he decided to join us in the booth today. Welcome aboard, Ben.
Thanks, Scott. I'd obviously love to be out there with the boys today, but this is fantastic. I'm looking forward to an extremely exciting match. It's going to be full of action.
Yeah, I can't wait as well. Let's look at these standings. The NOLA Gold have been at the top of the table literally all season long, and they're back there right now with the 7-2 record. You'll notice that Rooney in New York, they're 7-1, but Jeff, it's all about the total points in MLR.
Yeah, at the end of the season, obviously the wins and losses are important, but it's the points at the end of the season that make it or break it. And you see Utah down the below, but it took New Orleans 80 minutes, the full game, to beat them.
Hey, all season long, this Gold team has been very balanced, but one guy seems to stand out every time he hits the pitch. His name is Tristan Blewett, Ben.
Yeah, Tristan. I mean, this very well could be the play of the season so far, but the guy's a living, breathing, walking highlights reel. I mean, he's going to make big plays in attack and defense. I'm really excited to watch him do his stuff today and cause some headaches for Utah.
Yeah, he's been doing it all year long. Listen, this guy's second in MLR and tries with 7. He had 3 one game against Houston. He is dynamite on the field. But hey, listen, this team is full of great stars, but the other team, Utah, has great stars as well. One of them, Jeff, Tim O'Malley.
Yeah, Tim almost played down here in New Orleans. He's played every single minute for Utah this season, which is remarkable for a team devastated by injuries. Strong striker with the ball in hand, great kicker.
Yeah, Tim O'Malley's a guy, like you said, the Gold signed him back in August, but he ended up trying to go Super Rugby, tried to come back to the Gold, but they were all full with Scott Gale. But right now, he's going to be playing against us today. It should be a great battle today. I personally can't wait to be in the booth with these 2 guys and watch the NOLA Gold against the Utah Warriors coming up next on CST. Actually, I could see one of y'all being a sideline reporter.
Well, I need something to do for the rest of the season.
That'd be fun, actually. You'd be fun down there.
The sideline guy can be a little more critical, too.
Yeah, and I can interview the dudes. And,
It'd be fun.
I'd like to. We'll see it. Clap. Look at the kids.
Who, Eric?
We're going to hit the coaches, right? Okay. So when I say, hey, we're underway at Gold Stadium, we can get the weather stuff in there in a second, but don't do it right off the bat because we're going to go straight. Literally, we're going to be rushing from coaches to kickoff. So I'm going to say, hey, underway, here's the kickoff, and then NOLA Gold Rugby on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the official beer of the NOLA Gold. By Boomtown, the official hotel and casino of the NOLA Gold. And by Louisiana Tourism. Don't live in the moment, be the moment, and feed your soul. Welcome back to Gold Stadium. As you see the NOLA Gold coming onto the pitch. It's going to be a great afternoon for rugby. It's beautiful outside, a little bit windy, but let's look at the starting lineups right now. The NOLA Gold starting lineup is powered by LED, NOLA LED. Hey, listen, right now you see the 4, 5, 6 to 8. Those guys are powerful. One guy you don't see is Kyle Bailey. He's getting a little rest this week. He'll be back next week. And as far as the backs, they are so loaded here in New Orleans with the backs. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Those are all Australians. Tristan Blewett we talked about, but J.P. Eloff, Tim Hoffman are serious weapons at fullback and wing. Hey, here's the Utah roster right here. They got a couple new players. Hulu right there, that's his first start. Angus McClellan, he played at Davenport with J.P. Eloff, and Lance Williams scored the first try in the first game against Utah, but Tim O'Malley, Gannon Moore right there, that is a very strong 12-13. Those two guys could probably play for any Major League Rugby team. And the reserves, Matt Harmon right there, you saw him. He was a first 15 player early in the season coming off the bench, and Billy Stewart's played a lot of minutes, and Basca, the last time they had a home game, he had the game-winning try. Here are the coaches. We've talked about Nate Osborne a bunch, the Aussie, who's doing great things here in New Orleans, and Alf Daniels. I went and spoke to him before the game. He is ready for this one. That last game, guys, it came down to the very last play of the match, and that was one we didn't even talk about as far as the last 3 matches, but that one was 5 matches ago, so this team has finished game 1 on the last play of the match and won 3 of those 4.
Yeah, Nate Osborne takes some risks at the end of the game. He likes to go for the 5-meter line out, and Shoes going for the kicks, and it's paid off for him so far. Let's see if he can get a little distance between the two teams today and make it more comfortable.
New Orleans is known for having a little bit of a late crowd, but we have a really good crowd right now, but everybody's kind of parked in it, but this thing's going to be packed out today. The kickoff is coming up. J.P. Eloff, one of the great scorers in MLR, and we're underway, and there he is, the kick.
Yeah, it hits the ground. It should be New Orleans. Up.
Utah's got the ball. They get up near the line right before the halfway line.
Good interior defense thus far. Let's see what happens. Utah just setting up their phase play here, just kind of soften in the middle of the field. Probably a lazy runner penalty there. It is. So basically there, the Hubie Bidens couldn't escape the tackle, and he's called what's a lazy runner, and the lazy runner is a penalty if the ball hits off him, which you just saw.
So he's just obstructed the passing channel there, defeating play. So you will see Utah kick for touch and retain the ball in the line out, hopefully.
Yeah, not too many. He made about 10 meters on that one. Probably would have liked a little bit more, but he's kicking into the wind here.
Yeah, let's talk about that wind. It is a true factor in this match today.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's a very different experience. The first time round we played in sub-Antarctic temperatures, so for quite a few of the boys on the team, they've never seen snow, let alone played in it, and it's very different today. The wind blowing down, NOLA's playing with the wind, so I'll be interested to see whether the boys kick for the corner and play the field position game.
That New Orleans weather is starting to creep up. 83 degrees today, but we have some wind to keep it cool out there. But like you said, the wind is at 20 miles per hour. They say it could get up to 30 later in this match. We see because some bad weather is coming in about 4 or 5 hours here in New Orleans. But it looks to be a great day so far. Here's the first lineout of the match.
Yeah, Kane Thompson's very strong at stealing it. Almost New Orleans almost stole that one. Comes down clean though.
Yeah, the line-out's been a pillar of strength for us throughout the season. Eric Howard has been throwing well, and we have a number of very tall options there with Kane Thompson, Ignacio out of Uruguay, and Cam Dolan. I expect big things coming from the line-out all day.
Nice movement there by Utah. Number 11, Josh Anderson. He played football at the University of Utah. He's big and fast, 6'5", and he's got a lot of speed as well.
Yeah, they're going to need to get him the ball in space. Utah seems to go through the hands a lot in their offense, and that can allow the defense to come up and make some big hits. Be critical for New Orleans to make their tackles on the outside today. They've been a little suspect recently. in that wide channel. So hopefully Nick Feeks and Tim Maupin can clean that up.
I had a long talk with Nate Osborne about what you just said. He said that is false. But I know you're a coach as well, so I don't want to go coach versus coach, but he gave me the reasons why it wasn't so bad, the tackling on the outside. But
yeah, I mean, their tackle rate's great, 90%, but you can see it against some of the bigger boys out there in the wing. They've been letting them get a few extra meters and letting them get the offloads. John Ryberg at Glendale was pretty effective in doing that against Nolan.
There he goes, Tristan Blewett. This is what he specializes in. We call it a pick 5. He had one last week, and he had one, of course, against Houston, which we showed you the open. It is right off the bat. Tristan Blewett does it again.
Yeah.
That came off the back of some very solid defense there. That's extremely good to see.
Yeah, we'd like to see this. He got a good jump on the football. Hopefully he wasn't offside. Doesn't look like it.
This is his third one literally in the last 4 matches. This guy's been unbelievable at this all season long. And now he's in the lead for tries.
Yeah, it looked a bit early to me. I'm not down there on the field, but it looked like he jumped a little bit on that. But, you know, the touch judge is right there, and he has the better angle than we do up here in the booth.
Look, one way or the other, that was created off some very solid defense. The boys were really folding around the corner and meeting the direct play from Utah quite well, which presented opportunity for Tristan to make the read.
Hey, don't miss the NOLA Gold on CST next month. The Gold travel to Austin to take on the Elite May 4th. And then they travel home to host the Houston SaberCats on May 18th. And on May 26th, it's a road trip to New York to face Rooney. For the full broadcast schedule, hey, visit coxsportstv.com. And as you see the broadcast, you see there's Tristan again. You say he might have been close to being offsides, but hey, like I say this, Paul-Henri Cuvier, we've had a lot of calls when he's reffing the game. Both losses were when he was the main ref. Maybe we caught a break on this one.
Well, he looked to his touch judge right after it, and the touch judge said it was clean, that Tristan wasn't offside. New Orleans would probably prefer to take that ball out of the air, though.
Big Kane Thompson got the kickoff there. Eric Howard with it, a little bounce off his thing, but he pulled the back end off of his chest.
Yeah.
Holden Younger, the scrum half.
Kind of classic New Orleans here, just the one hit up off the line out, and then a clearance kick by Scotty Gale. It's pretty rudimentary what they do here.
When you say classic New Orleans, explain that, what you mean.
Sure, like, so New Orleans a lot of times off the kickoffs, they like to do one hit up. We get a quick throw in.
Oh, they've gone quickly.
Yeah.
I've said this frequently. You saw Tristan Blewett almost get another pick. This guy is one guy. I know if he concentrated on football, he could have been a safety or a cornerback in the NFL. Not to do references to the NFL, but that's what a great athlete he is, and he's proved it all season long.
Oh, as I said before, he's a living, breathing, walking highlights package, and he's going to make big plays in attack and defense all day long. So I expect constant headaches.
That's not too clean, but Johnny Ika cleans it up here. The ball's out. A little slow coming out.
So far, Utah's very direct, playing their alphas off the 9, directly from 9.
Gonna look for a little space here now. Here it is.
That's the number 12, Tim O'Malley, who we talked about in the open. He is a dangerous competitor playing for the Utah Warriors today.
That's clean. Cameron Falcon, local Shaw grad, coming in on the ball. No penalty there. Good play. Heads up. Some good defense. That's going to knock backwards, so not a knock on. Here we go.
That's big Lance Williams. By the way, he's the all-time leading tackler in football at the University of Hawaii. This guy's a truck.
Good hands there. A little bobble by the good tight head.
Start this bit of space starting to open up wide, but the pass doesn't go to hand.
Yeah.
The ball's hitting the turf quite a bit on the Utah side when they have the ball. Blewett picked it up. There's the kick by Holden Younger for space.
No mark taken, surprisingly.
That's quite a strong win, kicking. Quite a strong kick, kicking the win there.
Don't miss the Nichols Cardinals and SLU Lions at Southeastern Battle on the Diamond next Thursday. Hey, the first pitch is set for 6 p.m. Central, live on Cox Sports Television. Log on to our website for the full baseball broadcast schedule. Another line out. Here's the first one for the Gold, and that's one of the best in the business. Howard throwing again.
Pretty clean. Nice
Maupin
line.
to Blewett. Blewett, when he gets up in space, you know what happens next. Oh, penalty on the play?
No, we got, it looks like Scotty Green, the touch judge on this. Yeah, Scotty Green's calling a forward pass.
Really?
Yeah,
I guess
he's
it was.
got it.
You're right. It was.
Good call.
But we nailed it in the open, didn't we? Tristan Blewett is a dynamite wild man in every single highlight so far.
Yeah, but the gap is created by the 12, Con Foley, who's got amazing ball skills, and a gap like that doesn't open up by the strike run. It opens up by the guy with the football in his hand, and Con's done an amazing job this year of creating gaps for Tristan and others.
I can't thank you enough for saying that, because it seems like every big play, number 12 has set somebody else up for the score, and he was the man of the match last week despite not scoring a try, because obviously we see the value of him every time he steps on the pitch.
Yeah, Con is tough as nails. He'll go the full 80. I think he's gone the full 80 every game so far, and he does a lot of work that, as you said, it goes unseen, but certainly the boys respect him and love what he brings.
He, along with Scott Gale, came from Brisbane, Australia. Obviously, you're an Aussie yourself, and also Nick Feeks, the starter at number 11 today, is from Canberra.
Yeah, I know both Con and Scott from back home. It's quite interesting. I've known them for a while, and even playing with them, I still can't tell the two apart. So.
Back to your point, he has played 711 out of 720 minutes. He is one of the true Ironmen on the squad.
Yeah, the first scrum of the game. This will be a big contest between the two teams. Looks like Hubert got a good shoulder up there, but I think
you like it.
I think Cam or Hubert may have been penalised for illegally boring in.
Perfect time to say this. You're usually the main guy in the scrum, the number 3 at the tight head prop position. Cam Falcon is getting his first start of the season. I know he started a few games last year, but what's he bringing to the table that maybe you don't?
Oh, Cam's an incredibly capable player. I'm expecting between the two of us, I think we've been doing a good job, and I'm sure he's going to bring a lot of big ball carries, big tackles, and lock down that scrum. So Matt perhaps a little bit unlucky there for the first penalty.
There's the hooker, Jeremy Lieber.
There it is. They see New Orleans with a steal there, but Cam got up. Going to look to just consolidate the football here.
Scott Gale with the kick.
It's a good one.
Fantastic kick. It's going to be an interesting matchup between both Brodie Lieber and Eric Howard.
The Wally Pontiff Junior Classic is set for Tuesday, and you can catch it live right here on Cox Sports Television. This is one of my favorite games of the season. Tune in at 7 p.m. as the LSU Tigers face the Louisiana Raging Cajuns at the Shrine on Airline in Metairie, Louisiana.
Sorry, as I was saying, a good matchup between Eric Howard and Brodie Lieber. I mean, the Maple Nugget versus Brodie, who's similarly quite a short, stocky guy. So I'm sure they'll be getting in each other's faces, perhaps a bit of agitation there.
You seem to know Eric Howard pretty well, don't you, Ben?
Oh, I do, unfortunately. No, he's a very close friend, but he's a fierce competitor and a tremendous leader of the forwards and the team at large. So.
Did you know Jeremy from Australia? He's obviously another from down under.
No, I believe he went to Lindenwood University, so he knows Nick Feeks quite well.
And Baska, right?
Yeah.
I think they all play together there.
I don't know whether he'll be out on the wing, so I don't know whether there'll be too much interaction there, but I love to see some.
He's a great player. One thing, though, his strength is not the line-out. That's what I was told. Obviously, Eric Howard's one of the best in the business. Lieber, you saw already in the 2 line-outs. I don't know if it's his fault or not, but they weren't successful so far.
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't watching closely, but I think the throw and the movement could be much improved there. They're going to need to tidy that up, otherwise it's going to be a long day. Obviously the wind plays a factor, but you need to overcome these. Perhaps you throw closer to the front and try and get some purchase there. Here's the second scrum of the game. It's a solid set from Cam Falcon.
You got Anderson's in. Soften in the middle of the field. They're going to try to ship it back into space.
That's big Lance
There's
Williams.
Con Foley.
Look at Con Foley.
Unbelievable.
He is a true gamer
Now
right there.
New Orleans is going to want to move the ball into space on this turnover. They got space if they use it.
Howard to Maupin. Maupin scored. He seems to score almost every week he's in. Another U.S. national player.
Try to get a quick recycle here.
Oh, that's a big hit
hit.
coming in the midfield.
It's okay now. Just
There's a great look out wide.
they got a penalty here.
Here's the highlight. Tell us what's going on right here, Ben.
Yeah, it's these looks like Con stripped the ball there quite well. The Utah player needs to take that in and secure possession there. And then Hubert's done a good job of moving it out to the space. A bit unfortunate that.
What a snag, though, right there. He just picked his pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, between Con and Tristan, the centers are going to have a real hard time. They're going to be up in their face the whole time.
I have a question for you. What do you think of the mustaches they grew? Scott Gale, you see Con Foley's right there. They came together from Brisbane. What does the team think about those porn stashes?
Well, I have my own opinions. I don't know if they're suitable on air, but I think they're pretty ordinary, and I think most of the boys would agree with me. I think it's because they can't grow beards like the real men, but that's all right.
Oh, you have a beard?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah.
All right, the kick to the
Yeah,
top.
New Orleans lost the line out. Utah decided to clear. You can see the kick was a bit inebriated, but that was because of the wind. You can see Scotty Green's flag blowing blusterling in the wind. So again, like Ben said, the kicking game is going to be pretty paramount to field possession today. And right now you see Utah not getting a big advantage on their kicks because of the wind.
I like when you say the kick was inebriated.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's had a couple sauces, huh? All right.
It's the second one in a row New Orleans lost in their lineouts. I mean, they're usually pretty solid in their set pieces. Don't know what's happening right now. They're going to have to fix that.
Hey, by the way, we did mention this earlier. Utah, despite their record, they've been scoring in bunches. Oh,
Good cover tackle made there.
that's Tim O'Malley.
Yeah, we got a penalty here. Looks like off their feet.
Yeah, I think he's penalised Cam Dolan there for killing the play. Utah were definitely on the offensive. There was a nice half break there, and he's penalised Cam for disrupting the Utah attack.
So you played against Utah this year. You played against them last year. What is their main attack? I mean, how do they play? I know they started with more structure than they're used to, and now they're back to their improv style, and thus they're scoring 34 points a match the last three.
Absolutely. Individually, they've got some incredible players that are. Don Putty isn't playing today, which is a huge loss, but he's an electric player. He carved us up right through the middle all of last season. Just kicked the ball back, and he's hard to contain.
And John Cullen's missing as well, right?
Yeah, John Cullen, he's a massive option for them in the line out and a big generator of go-forward ball, so they'll be missing him for sure. And of course, Vanacola, I think he's the highest try scorer in Tongan rugby history. I mean, not having him and that experience, I don't know what that'll create.
Yeah, that's three guys that they wish they had right now. But hey, primetime sports with Scott Alexander. Ben Tarr was a guest at one point. We had Tim Maupin on this week along with Cam Falcon. Hey, it features the biggest sports and entertainment stars from Louisiana and the entire Gulf Coast region, like Ben Tarr right here. Scott Alexander, that's me, brings weekly in-depth interviews with players, coaches, local musicians and artists, and so much more. Catch new episodes every week right here on CST.
Yeah, the New Orleans took that ball, but a knock on from New Orleans. They're going to come back to the knock on. Cam Falcon cleaned the ball up off the bad line-out throw by Utah, but then we had a knock on. So it's going to be a scrum down to Utah. See if we can have another clean one here. Ben, it seems like the scrums, a lot of issues with the scrums, not with New Orleans, but just in the league in general. A lot of, we don't see a lot of the first scrums going cleanly. Do you have an insight into that?
Yeah, quite often what's happening the first couple scrums is the front row is trying to test the waters, see if there's a weakness on the opponent, and often that leads to collapse. But as you generally find after that, once the two guys have sussed each other out, they tend to go a bit cleaner. So far we've seen the scrum battle be quite even. With the Utah with the feed here, that's a very solid platform from them.
Gonna look out for Anderson trying to sneak in here on the weak side. There it is. Yep. That's what you'll see is Utah likes to soften those guts and try to get through and then offload, like what Reeves just tried to do there. And then they'll move the ball at the second level out wide.
I love the background. You can hear they're shouting for defense. The crowd is starting to pour in. They're filling in the spaces. Utah with the ball. They're getting close.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate turnover there. Utah had some good momentum. The big boys in the middle trying to get a little too crafty. That's the second one that you've seen Angus McClellan. He did a little backhanded flip pass that didn't work out too well early in the game, and right there, another knock on. So Utah's generating some momentum. They're just not really cracking the interior and the midfield defense.
Lots of turnovers, some sloppy play. Hey, by the way, one stat that I know Coach does not like, the Gold are the most penalized team in the league. That hasn't stopped them from winning. And I've heard something I didn't realize, Ben, when Cam Falcon was on my show. He says, y'all the bad boys of the league. That's your reputation around the MLR. What does that mean?
Oh, I don't want to get into it too much, but certainly, there's a general feeling that we're not to be messed with, and everyone's bought into it. If one guy gets into trouble, we're certainly all in there. We all have each other's backs. So I think that's perhaps the context that has been brought up in.
Particularly the big 6'6" New Zealander, Kane Thompson. He always seems to be in the mix.
Yeah, there's a couple other.
Holden Younger.
Yeah,
all 5'10" of him.
Of course, Ignacio Dotti. I mean, he from straight out of Uruguay. I think he only speaks 4 words of English. So it's maybe kill, murder, and not funny. But he's certainly fluent in the language of rugby. So I love the guy.
Straight up assassinator.
Yeah, but they expect some big hits and some confrontations with him as the game goes on.
Well, NOLA Younger tosses the ball in. He loves to be in the mix as well. There's not a skirmish he's back down from. He's got the rock right now.
Oh, there's an overlap here.
There's Maupin.
He's going to look to recycle the ball quickly, the big boys.
Scott Gale with the ball, with the kick.
I don't know if Scotty was expecting that one. I think he was hoping for a hit up from the big boys before he got the football. So up and under, Holden's taking it real cleanly. This should be.
Here's JP Eloff. He's always dangerous with the ball in his hands.
Right. Now we have the big boys softening up. Now we've got a little space out wide. We got some players out there. We got an overload if they can get it out there. Here it is. Yep.
There's Fluid with the ball with the feet on the sideline. He kicks it up, and he's running after it. Into the try zone.
Unfortunate. Great play.
He was looking for a highlight reel play.
Yeah, I mean that's classic New Orleans offense there. Just soften the middle, suck in the midfield defense, and get the ball wide into space with numbers. Feeks brings the ball back into the field. It's a good kick because he would have been pushing the touch most likely.
He's got a great boot. He's brought, since he's been in the starting lineup, is some speed at the 11th position. He's truly fast when he gets on the outside lanes on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate it just carried through touch. It comes back to the spot where he kicked it from. That's why you see the scrum being set at the about 5 meters off the half line.
We're about to take the 20-minute water break right now. We'll be back before you know it. Right here on CST, you're watching NOLA Gold Rugby. Welcome back to Gold Stadium. Hey, catch the New Orleans Baby Cakes on CST all summer long. The Cakes host the Iowa Cubs for a 3-game homestand starting Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central with a live doubleheader. Catch tape delay coverage of Game 3 Friday at noon. Visit coxsportstv.com for the full broadcast schedule. The water break is about over. And by the way, you see the 7-0 score after 20 minutes. Don't fret, Gold fans, because there's an anomaly right here. The Gold in the first and third periods, basically the first 20 minutes and the first 20 minutes of the second half, for whatever reason, don't score nearly as much as they do in the second 20 minutes of each half. Put it this way, on the season, yeah, there's what's the knee to the head? There's an injury. Was that to Tristan Blewett?
No. Looks like
Angus McClellan. Yes, he's out. So he's the tight end for them. That's going to see a big change up front. I think Alex Tucci's come on early into the game. So
he caught Dottie's knee right there.
Yes, yeah. I just saw Hubert exchanging a few niceties with him just then. So let's see how he goes.
Utah with the scrum.
That's a good push from Hubie. There it is.
Wonderful. Well done, Hubert. He's really got under Tucci there and won the penalty for the team.
How important is Hubert for this team? 37 years old, the oldest player. He's about the same age as the head coach. He's had 50 caps, meaning he's played international play against international competition 50 different times.
Yeah, old Father Christmas himself. He's a wonderful addition to the team, and you can't see it here. He was on the other side, but he's really done a great job of getting underneath Tucci. So Utah are going to have to work a little bit harder in that facet of the play.
Yeah, massive kick by JP there.
So I think what we'll expect to see here is I think NOLA's going to attempt to drive it over through the maul. It's been a massive strength of the Gold throughout the season.
Yeah, bread and butter here for New Orleans is the drive off the line out, set the maul. Oh, here it is, good platform, 4-on-2. If they just angle it back in, they should be able to dot this one down. It's still reforming. Looks like it's gone to ground now. New Orleans will want to be patient here. Pick and goes. There it is. Want to get down.
Ground and pound right now, trying to get to the try zone.
Yep.
The ball slips out.
Yep, we got a penalty though.
Suspect that they'll kick the touch once more and have another attempt at the maul.
Hands in the ruck. I know this is the 10th match, but what does that mean exactly to the new fan out there?
Yeah, I think, looking at the penalty here, I think he was disrupting attack there, illegally trying to poach a ball.
Now, how do you illegally do it, though? I mean, what is the rule?
Well, after making the tackle, you need to release, and you can't put your hands in there if the ruck's formed. And in that context, if the ruck's formed, then there's other person's entered and turned it into ruck. Here the maul is.
Here he is. This is a good one. This is trouble for Utah.
This looks good from the Gold.
Yeah, nice shape.
Utah defense is scrambling.
Eric Howard with the roll.
He's got a penalty here too. It looks like that should be in. Yeah,
there's the score. You're not going to stop Big Cam Dolan that close to the try zone.
No, but it's all set up by the patience of New Orleans. When the ball goes to ground off the maul, even though the maul isn't successful, Maul's not successful in showing and getting the try. It's the patience afterwards where New Orleans is really strong, and that allows Cam Dolan to dot that one down pretty easily.
Perfect pass, too, setting him up. This team does that so well. I mean, and they're so unselfish on this team. I've noticed that. There's Tim Maupin right there. Talk about that on your team. I mean, because that's not always the case with every rugby team you've ever played on, I'm sure.
Oh, no. I mean, it's quite unique. I've certainly loved my time down here in New Orleans. The team is really gelled. Everyone's gets on with each other incredibly well, and I think that really shows out on the field. After the try was scored, you would have seen everyone run in and get around Cam Dolan, and it's massive encouragement to the rest of the boys. Just the enthusiasm, it's contagious, and the energy.
And the conversions are also important in this sport as opposed to football. They're not gimmies. Obviously, they come out and they have different angles as opposed to an extra point in football. And they're 2 points, which make them that much more valuable.
He's going to want to draw that
What
back.
a spin in. Wow. What a kick by JP Elon.
He drew that one back in. With this win, it's going to be difficult, the conversions.
I mean, look at the way this thing bent in. Just like bend it like Pregame in soccer.
Yeah.
And that almost doesn't do it justice from the angle, because we had the angle right behind him, and it looked like it was going to go straight, and like a good golf shot, it just kind of curved right in. Beautiful play. This team, JP Eloff is certainly one of the most valuable players in not just this team, in the entire MLR.
Oh yeah, JP's massive asset, vice captain. He's produced for us week in and week out. He overcame a serious medical issue last year, and it's great to see him back to his best.
That's going to be a knock-on. Yeah.
Well, to my earlier point, the Gold in the second 20 minutes of the first half have been extraordinary. Like the time we're in now, 19 tries and 125 points. Put this in perspective, the first 20 minutes of the third period, only 5 tries and 38 points. What's the deal when y'all come out of the locker room? I mean, y'all will kill it in the second part of the first half.
Oh, well, generally I'm pretty tired, but I don't know what else is going on there. But there's certainly been discussion around that period after halftime this week, and I'm expecting a revitalised team this week in that opening 10 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, I think, Ben, a little bit maybe you have a lot of guys who've been playing representative side and some guys who've been injured. So the substitution pattern hasn't been what you typically have. You don't, with the hooker coming in and other players, and you've been stretched with the numbers for a little period of time.
Yeah, that certainly plays a factor. Yeah, but it's now the international window's over and we're pretty much back to a full squad. I think we're going to start to see a little bit more consistency.
Yeah, and Coach Nate using some players, more substitutions than we've probably seen in previous games.
Absolutely.
Which is, of course, a benefit to the team.
Today, the guy getting the rest is Kyle Bailey, obviously one of the great players on this team. Usually plays the 6. He might squeeze in the 4 or the 8 as well. When he sits out, I mean, do you guys like to get the rest? Or like Striffler last week didn't start. He's all-time the leading tackler in MLR. Do you know what he's doing this for, like for the end of the season? Or do you guys we're going to play every minute?
Everyone wants to play every minute, but you have to be realistic. If you play every minute of every game, then you're generally going to break down. So it's kind of understanding your body and respecting that and allowing time to heal. It's a marathon. It isn't a sprint.
Utah doing a good job of churning the ball up the field.
There's Lieber with the ball.
Just a good positive carry from there.
He's got some numbers if he uses the ball here.
That's Josh Anderson on the outside.
They recycle it here. Use the big boys to hammer it up.
Angus moving the ball there. He's back onto the field.
Utah seems to not like to carry the ball into contact in the middle of the field. They like to keep the ball alive and try to move it wide. And I don't know if that's really going to be that effective against New Orleans. Yeah.
It's a good penalty there, won by the look of it, Hubert.
Yeah, it seems that the big tight head came in from a side entry, and I'm sorry, the 8-man came in from side entry.
Here's another look at the play.
Big tackle in the middle of the field. Hubie's over the football. Yeah.
It's
side entry by the number 5, it looked like.
That opportunity's created by the great chop tackle by the muscle hamster himself there. Guy goes straight to ground and puts pressure immediately on the cleaners.
Are we talking about Eric Howard as the muscle hamster?
Oh, he has a few names, but yeah.
Okay. I prefer Matt Harmon's nicknames, but...
oh, yeah, we don't need to go there.
The backup hooker.
Yeah.
Geez, that's the 3rd one in a row that New Orleans is not taken down cleanly, but thankfully
Eric Howard
cleaned it up.
Yep.
Oh, boy. It's 2 in a row, 2 knocks in a row. But it's a knock on, but its line speed there at Utah was pretty good. So
a lot of intent, certainly in the line speed there. the game's been a bit scrappy so far, but I think it will start to open up in the next few minutes.
Yeah, if you take away Tristan's quick pick 5 early in the match, I mean, this has been basically even the rest of the way, except for that one score the Gold just got.
Yeah, New Orleans, their hands have been a bit suspect thus far. I mean, it's just early in the game, and I think they'll be fine at the end. I'm just not real impressed by Utah's offense. I don't think it's very dynamic. And
they are missing some key players.
Yeah, I know, but still, everyone in this league is good, and you have people on your roster. But I think if they strike the middle of the field and look for the offload, they're going to be a lot better off than just trying to wing it wide like that. That'll get shut down real quick.
The big 6'5" Anderson.
Yeah.
Ika with the ball, passes it on to Reeve.
You talk about the multi-layered attack. Oh, there's great ball movement.
Yeah. I mean, scripted play. I mean, I think his read was that gap would be there, and it closed down. Great defense, actually, by New Orleans. But what I noticed with Utah, Ben, is a lot of the ball just goes through the 10's hands. New Orleans likes to go from the 9 out to their big boys to soften the middle of the field. But it seems like everything runs through Reeves here. I don't know if that slows their offense down, but...
Speaking of Josh Reeves, a starting fly half who's up from New Zealand, he's actually plays for Brazil in the national team. He's been a key pickup. I mean, it's only his 3rd start right now for Utah, and since he's been in the lineup, they've been scoring heaps of points.
Yeah, he's a good stand-up. He's a good fly half. He's got a good foot. He likes to use his foot. Brazil's got a high level of rugby. I mean, I think they beat Canada last time out, and they did. Yeah, and I believe they've beaten the United States once too. So not to be laughed at. Yeah, Reeves is good. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him get into space because he's very creative with the football.
Yeah, that was a huge win for Brazil. That was their first ever victory over Canada. 2018, they won the South American Championship as well. That was in the ARC this year you're talking about, and they beat him primarily because of his kicking.
Right. It's a good attacking ball opportunity for New Orleans here. 10 meters from half line in their set. They got a lot of space to run here. Let's see what Holden and the boys thinking. It's a good platform, good spin. Yeah, there we go.
Holden takes it to the outside.
Problem is he didn't have a wing with him. The reason why Holden had to go that way is that scrum kind of spinned away from him, and I wish he had a wing there. You got a 2-on-1 opportunity. It's great eyes.
There's Scotty Gale with the ball. Pitches to Con Foley.
The passes just aren't going to hand today. That was a beautiful ball movement. Scott spotted the half gap there, and he was through quite nicely. If that pass had gone to hand, he was away.
Yeah, looks like Con got tripped over Scotty's feet there. It was a great line by Con. The patience to let Scott shoot the gap and then come on at some pace, but unfortunately just spilled forward. But that's what you see, the division of Scotty Gale right there. Instead of just shipping the ball wide when he's under pressure, taking it up and finding a gap, and then the intelligence of Con Foley then to recognize to strike off of Scott because he's in trouble. That's top level stuff.
Ben, what's been the addition of these two meant to the team? And they both came pretty much together. They're friends for a long time. You've known them for a long time. What have they meant for the Gold?
Oh, they're fantastic dudes. Beyond the wealth of experience they have in rugby, obviously Con was the captain of the Australian national sevens team.
And he's an Olympian, right?
Olympian, absolutely. Right. And Scott played for the Queensland Reds in Australia, Super Rugby. They bring an immense bank of knowledge, and I mean they're absolutely critical and play a big part of the team.
Utah with the ball on the move, nice kick.
Well taken.
Feeks with it. There's JP Eloff.
That's okay. Just want to consolidate that ball and let your boys set up, and you'll see them hit here. And well taken by Nicola.
Whoa!
Now you'll see that he was actually in front of the kicker on that, but because the ball was charged down, Nicola's able to play it. There's a bit of this guy, the 14 here. Bit of a stepper, Louty.
Oh my, he's the best side stepper in the league, they say.
Happy feet.
Leading try scorer in the MLR last season.
Yeah.
Tanada Louty.
Holden's.
There's Louty again.
Yeah,
He got
Louty.
space. This is what he does well.
Yeah, great tackle by JP.
Nice pick there.
You just consolidate this
Louty.
ball here in New Orleans, and we're fine. See, that's again Utah. Again, Utah just making some really suspect offloads when they make meters.
Feeds to Blewett. It's always dynamic when Blewett has it. There he goes. He's got some space. He's back to the Feeks. Feeks is going downfield. Oh, that's you're holding younger. Excuse me. Feeks was on the outside. They both have that bronze hairdo.
It looks like number 11's off his feet there. Oh, he went the other way. Side entry on New Orleans. Yeah, Feeks, good feet, gets through.
To Blewett.
Incredible leg strength for Tristan to drive through the contact and break the tackles.
That's Holden Younger. What happened right here, guys?
Well, Holden decides, he's got Feeks back outside, he's got Nick back outside, but he decides to hold the ball. The wing does a good job of kind of icing the defense where he's playing both Holden and the outside runner. You see him kind of going an angle backwards, conceding some yards or some meters so he can prevent the ball from moving wide, and actually was very effective. It was actually a very strong defensive play. And I think Holden did the right thing in keeping the ball. It would have been a tough pass, and I think Feeks would have had some issues. Feeksy would have had some issues getting pushed in the touch there. But New Orleans, if he makes that break, we got to get there sooner. New Orleans has to get there sooner and support that break.
By the way, halftime, we're going to have a New Orleans legend, one of the greatest Saints of all time, one of the greatest LSU Tigers of all time, Dalton Hilliard. No stranger to anybody in these parts of the country. He's going to be our halftime guest, so make sure you stay tuned for that.
Moving it wide. Not much space out here. Feeks is not going to tackle a big boy like that up high. There's a knock backwards, good tackle. Let's see. No real depth in the Utah back line. It's very flat, so decides to take it in and reset for the next phase. Got a little space out here, 2-on-1. Let's see what we can. Great cover tackle. That's better by Feeks. Nice cover tackle by Holden Younger. The ball should be out. Oh, we got a.
This could be bad. The yellow card could be coming here.
Yeah. It's, looks like Hubie was trying to slow down a ball. Probably the smart play, but it looks like he'll get a yellow card for it.
He could use the rest anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, if Utah gets to that ball, it's probably a quick try for them. So Hubie makes the decision to muck up their ball and prevent the try, but he sacrifices himself for 10 minutes.
10 minutes in the sin bin. What's the advantage now with a man down?
Well, right here, you're going to have a penalty. We'll see. They're probably either they could ask for the scrum here. They're going to have to bring in a prop from the New Orleans bench. That's probably going to be Kevin Sullivan to take Hubie, because you have to replace a front row player. I would presume, Ben, you can correct me, that Utah takes the scrum here and sees what they can set up.
You see a couple guys on the field right there. That's Saya Ohila. He's the enforcer of the team. The Gold had a player down. I didn't see his number. We'll get to that in a second. But this copyrighted telecast of NOLA Gold Rugby may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of Cox Sports Television, NOLA Gold, and Major League Rugby.
Yeah.
If I was Utah right now, I think I'd continue on the attack. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I would go here, the scrum here and attack. I mean, I said earlier that New Orleans has had some issues tackling in the outside channel, and you see that Utah has been bringing the big boys out in its channels, and they're making some meters down the side. Big number 4 there, 2 carries. Then maybe Utah's been watching some film that New Orleans is a bit suspect at their outside defense, and it's been working for them.
Yeah, that was certainly the most dynamic passage of attack from Utah so far in the game.
Yeah, it was on Yep.
There's two enforcers right there for the NOLA Gold. You see Bursic on the left along with Ignacio Dotti. Let's take a look at the penalty real quick.
Yeah. So Hubie, I mean, it's pretty blatant. I mean, here's a guy going to the breakdown for Utah, and Hubie just pushing him from the wrong side of the football. It's pretty elementary yellow card there for him. But again, I mean, pretty smart too, because he slows down the play.
I like how he gingerly backed away, and then he put his head down. He knew he was guilty.
I'll put it down to a bit of disorientation because of the heat.
We'll call it the heat. About 3 minutes left in the half. The NOLA Gold are trying to keep this goose egg on the board for Utah.
Yeah, I would suspect that Utah's going to probably run some kind of interior switch move here and then look to move it wide in the next phase. But we got a penalty here on the scrum.
It's going to be very difficult at the scrum. They're now down the man because of the yellow card. Kevin Sullivan's come on, though, to fulfill the position there, loosehead prop. So the boys are going to really need to front up. Otherwise, Utah's a chance of driving one over from the scrum for 5 points.
Look at McClellan all bandaged up. That's a true man right there. You played many matches against McClellan, correct?
Yes, I do. I played with him as well. He's a warrior. He's a warrior.
I can tell. Not just the name of the team.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I do find it quite amusing. He finds himself in a position to play the ball quite often, which is quite unusual from a tight end prop, but he does a great job. The referee's obviously unhappy with something he's seen there.
Paul-Henri Cubier.
I think you mentioned earlier that both the games we've lost, he's been the referee.
Yeah, 0 for 2 with Cubier. Hopefully that doesn't hold true today. 2 late calls in both those matches against Rooney, and of course the latest one against Glendale.
He's an excellent referee. I did hear a few disgruntled fans talking about the hungry alligators before the game, though.
We do have them down here, and the French do love delicacy, the alligator. They love to eat them. I don't know if they like to be eaten by them.
Looking to push over here. I don't know if they've got the shape. He's popped up.
There's Ika on the outside, and Ika scores. Just like you said, man down, they got the easy score.
Yeah, I mean, Ika's 5'5", but he's about 210 pounds. He looks more like a hooker than he does a scrum half. He's a strong guy, low body position. Yeah, you'll see here, strong body position against the wing. He gets nice and low and just drives over.
Birthday was Wednesday. Happy birthday, number 27 for Ika. He gets the score right here. Hey, he was brought in to be the starter, had a wrist injury, didn't get his first start till the game before they played NOLA against Glendale, but he's been a factor ever since they've been scoring lots of points since he's been in the lineup.
Yeah, not much you can do there either. He takes the ball off the base, and he's got the wing there, so Nick Feeks has to kind of honor the wing out wide. And by the time Nick Feeks can get in, Ika's got a better body position and just drives under him for the try.
One of their strengths certainly is their kicking game. You see number Tim O'Malley, a great leader, a great kicker, a great player on the field, and then we got the win. How's that going to affect possibly this kick from this angle?
Well, you see Josh Reeves going out to hold the football down so the ball doesn't fall off the tee. We'll have to see. I'm going to have to say it's not going to probably be the cleanest kick if it goes through.
It's a big conversion, though. It keeps you within one score.
It's a good strike.
Oh, nice. Oh, just missed it.
Tough.
Just outside.
Tough.
A little wide outside. It was a good kick, though.
Oh yeah, it's a tough angle, and that's right on time at half. So it's a huge try, and right on the halftime.
We are at halftime right here. They're going to take a little 15-minute break, but guess what? One of my favorite athletes of all time coming up next, right here on Primetime Sports and NOLA Gold Television. up, man? How you been? Good. Nice surprise. All right, so I'm just gonna Dalton Hilliard. We're gonna just say, hey, basically say, hey, how you liking it out here? Maybe say something about the Saints. You know, I don't know.
Whatever you want, baby. Just throw it at me.
I'm gonna throw it at you. What's your wife's first name?
Huh?
What's your wife's first name?
Andrea.
So you want me to flip on this side, right? Welcome back to NOLA Gold Rugby. The Gold just gave up a late try, but the conversion was missed, so it's 14-5. The NOLA Gold are ahead, and they can head to the second half. By the way, when I was in college many moons ago, the best athlete on campus was the guy sitting next to me right here. His name is Dalton Hilliard. It's rare that you have one of the top 5 players at running back at both LSU and the New Orleans Saints, but he's right here. It's your first rugby match, I'm assuming, Dalton.
Yes, it is. I'm having a great time, man. I love the physicality, so I'm all in. Watching this game and seeing these guys, how they perform, I think I might have wanted to play my younger days.
I was about to say, I mean, they didn't have this in high school in Louisiana when we were doing it, but there's a guy out there that I've compared to you. His name's Tristan Blewett. He's the one that got that first try on the pick. He's got those big, strong thighs like you had. Have you seen him play today, and what do you think about him?
I think this guy is one of those guys he have the power, he have the strength, he have the quickness. So you combine all those elements together, you're a great player, and I think he's a great player for this team.
Hey, Dalton, I said this just a second ago, but your LSU career, unbelievable. You and Eric Martin, Gary James, and then you come to the Saints, and they had their first winning seasons. In a nutshell, talk about what it was like to play for your home state in both college and pros.
You know, being here from Louisiana and also having the opportunity to play my college ball, my NFL ball here, man, was a blessing. Going to LSU, coming from a small high school like Patterson High School, and adjusting to that 80,000 crowd of people screaming and hollering at you, it was very exciting playing in Death Valley. Then I get the opportunity to come to New Orleans, drafted by the New Orleans Saints. Man, it was a blessing to stay home to play my college and my professional career here in this great state. Well, I love it, man. I'm blessed with it. One
of your teammates has fallen in love with rugby. Obviously, Bobby Abear, the quarterback, he was interviewed the last match here, and he's coming to the rest of the matches. The only reason he's not here today, he had to go out of town with his wife for a wedding. But talk about, as a football player, you know, what would it be like for a fan to come watch this, or a football fan, and what they see in the rugby pitch?
Well, it's similar to where I grew up in high school, or really not in high school, probably junior high school. You know, you playing tackle football as a kid growing up and watching this, no pad, and I think the fans will understand and realize if you like football, you like the physicality of football, you'll like this sport because it gives you that attribute as well.
One of the finest players on the field, one of the finest gentlemen off the field, that is Dalton Hilliard. Go enjoy the VIP tent for the second half because this team scores a bunch towards the end of the game. Hey, we're coming right back. We'll show you the first half highlights between the Utah Warriors and NOLA Gold.
Thank you for having me on, man.
That was awesome, brother.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy it.
No, from Jesuit.
Highlights.
Jesuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronnie
Excuse me.
Barbarian.
Yeah, put that. You gotta get in place. Here.
Bayou.
Looking right here. Look at this one.
Ben Mulvey.
Look at this right here.
Barbarian. Robin.
Yep, thanks.
Brother Martin. Cole Roy. Edward. Justin Scott. Barbarian. Brendan Scripter. Brother Martin. Johnny Kendall.
Okay.
Jedward.
Sure.
And Ryan Weaver. Bayou.
Okay. Okay.
And the second team, All-State Senior.
Can I see that one more time real quick? Because that was and don't worry about it. If you get, it's a pain. All right. That's fine. I'll throw it to him.
Can you put the monitor up
2.5 to
there?
1. That was fair. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Okay. I was like,
So,
I got you, brother.
oh, collar?
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the cable. Just push it behind you.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, cool. Oh, I see. Thanks.
So is this going to be bothering anybody? Is this thing?
Is this
Okay.
this one live?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So
That's-
here, why don't you come this way a little bit? You want us over a little bit, or are we good right here? Ron. All right, we're good. All right. All right. So how about a comment before we get to the highlights? And I'm gonna go to you. Are you?
I might just say if the game's going to open up.
No,
in
I'm
the
gonna say
second.
something
Okay.
obvious. I'm gonna say you're watching it from a different view. What's your take on the game so far?
Okay. Yep. Cool.
Welcome back to Gold Stadium. It's halftime here in New Orleans, Louisiana. The Gold have a 14-5 lead. Looks like kind of a baseball score when one team scores a bunch. Hey, by the way, right now, Ben Tarr, we talked about it earlier. He is a 2-year player for this team. This is his first time not on the pitch. What's it like in the broadcast booth for you so far?
My nerves are getting to me a little bit. I'd be lying if I said they weren't. It's hard watching the boys play out there, and the game's as close as it is. It's been a bit scrappy, but I'm thinking that the conditions can be attributed to that. I expect it to open up in the second half, though.
Yeah, the wind has been rough. Coach, you like to look at it with a critical eye.
Yeah.
You're always in the booth, but this is your first time on television.
Yeah.
What do you think about the first match?
I agree with Ben. It's been a bit scrappy. I mean, as a coach, you'd like to see the ball cleaned up a bit. Both teams have been kind of a little happy with the football, trying to pass out of tackles, backhanded passes. It has been a very sloppy game. As a coach, you want that ball to be consolidated and allow your offense to flow. And it's just not happening on both sides of the field right now.
You can always count on a coach for no rose-colored glasses right here.
Right.
Hey, let's look at some of these highlights you're talking about. Some of that sloppy play. I imagine we're going to get the best plays right here, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's Tristan Blewett, makes a good line jump. I thought it was a little marginal, but it's what he does. He's got great timing, and there's two refs out there who believed it was clean.
That's the third time this season he's made the interception and scored the try. All in the last 5 or 6 matches, he's doing so great. You talked about him in the open, Ben, but listen, this guy's been fantastic, and there we are coming out of a scrum.
Yeah, I mean, that's a maul, actually. The maul went down. They controlled the maul and did a good job here. Here's a great play. You see that they're exploiting the lack of defense on the right side. Good push here, and then Ika just uses his wing as deception and then just balls over.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do to stop that.
Yeah, this team's high scoring. By the way, Utah has averaged literally 34 points in the last 3 matches. Now they've gone to more improv style of rugby. They were a little more structured early in the season. I expect this to be a high-flying second half where they leave it all on the field. I'm looking forward to it, Ben. Hey, this has been so much fun so far. I can't not wait for the next 40 minutes. We're coming right back. You're watching NOLA Gold Rugby on CST. It's the Utah Warriors. NOLA Gold. Let's look for a great second half right here on Cox Sports Television. Welcome back to NOLA Gold Rugby. The second half is about to start. Hey, guys, it's been a lot of fun working with you. I asked him about his first half in the booth. What about you, Jeff? What's it look like for you so far?
It's not so bad. Good working with you guys, and it's a good game, close, and we'll see what happens in the second half.
Hey, Ben, I touched on this earlier. It's kind of a crazy anomaly. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but this stretch we're about to hit, the first 20 minutes of the second half, this team only has 5 tries in 9 games, and that's only 38 points compared to 125 points in the second half of the first half.
Yeah, the boys are certainly aware of it. Expect them all to come out like a bull in the china shop this first 10, 15 minutes. I think it could be electric. So they need to respond. At the moment, the game's too scrappy and too many errors.
A little different from the first match when you played in snow. Not many people on that pitch had ever played in snow.
Let alone seen it, mate. Yeah.
And let alone seen it. And the other thing is that this team, the Utah Warriors, was 1-1-1 at the time. They've lost 5 in a row since then. They're hungry for a victory.
Look, they're a lot better team than the record suggests. They offer a lot. They're an incredibly physical team. They got some big boys and some good substitutes, a good bench coming on, so it's going to be thrilling.
And we're underway for the second half.
Nikola Barsic takes it outside the 22. You're going to want to stay in the 22 here now. Now you can clear the kick into touch if you so choose. Even though it was brought out originally, the next tackle was in the back. There again is some suspect hands by New Orleans. I don't know if it's the wind or what it is. Maybe they have to tighten up their running space. But they turned it over. They got a penalty here. Looks like the ref has number 7 sealing the ball, basically leaving. You can't leave your feet and seal the football to prevent the other side from getting it.
Yeah, number 7, obviously, he's a New Zealander, Otta Elkington. He's a guy you faced off many times as well, right, Ben?
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. I mean, it's a bit of a silly penalty, though. Certainly, as a coach, those are the ones that infuriate you. You've got your opposition pinned deep in their half. They're about to kick the ball back to you, and you just give them a piggyback well and truly out of the danger zone.
Well explained. I like that. Well explained, sir. I think this guy's got a future if he wants it after his playing days are over. Both these guys right here.
Well, it's nice being in the booth here with the air conditioning. I went out there in the conditions. Certainly, I'm not breathing as hard as I am out on the field.
We do have the windows open. I want to explain why I was sweating a little bit at halftime because it's still hot up here for me. All right.
Yeah, New Orleans still playing a man down for probably another 4 or 5 minutes.
I think about 7 minutes,
7?
actually. Yeah.
So JP's little break here. Like to see him straighten it up. There we go.
Whoa.
Now Timmy's going to want to consolidate the ball, and here we go. You use your big boys to soften here to Kane.
Kane Thompson's been immense for the Gold this season. It's like having another coach out there,
isn't it?
At all times.
That looked like
That's
that
a
could have
good
been
run.
forward.
Look at that from Cam Falcon.
Cam Falcon.
Good luck.
The raging ball.
See, that's what he's your position. I mean, could you have run that guy over like Cam did? He's got a little more weight than you.
Yeah.
I
Look at
may
this.
not run him over, but
just took down.
I probably would have used my speed to run around him.
All right.
So on that play, I saw it looked like Cam did spill the ball. Cam Falcon spilled the ball forward in the tackle. And it looks like Scotty Green made the call.
Well, you see Biden's in the sin bin right now. He's waiting to come out. He's only got about 5 more minutes. He's itching to get back on the field. But they're playing a man down. Explain that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a yellow card in soccer. You got a yellow card in rugby, you're off the field for 10 minutes. And it's tough. So you try on these, on a defensive scrum, you usually just go with 7 guys and you play a full back line so you can match the backs. So you're kind of conceding this scrum here. And as you see, Utah just holds strong. So see.
That's an excellent kick.
That's a great kick.
Wow. Eloff takes the ball.
He's in trouble here if he doesn't. Yeah. This could be a turnover ball. New Orleans did well. Now here you're just going to need a little hits up, just what we call jam the ball up and get yourself some space to extricate yourself from your 22. You got to be very patient here.
And of course, Nola's playing into the win the second half.
See if Scotty finds touch. It's a good kick.
It's a very good
Especially
kick.
with the wind, right?
Right into the wind.
Yeah, that's great. It is a good attacking ball, a good location for an attacking ball from Utah here, especially with the man down. But again, New Orleans will match numbers in the back so that they're not overloaded.
Yeah, it's a very good attacking platform for Utah here. Good position in the field.
Lever with the toss.
Yeah.
It looks to be a well-formed maul here. Strong tackle from Tristan Blewett.
The goal trying to hang on for about another minute and a half before Bidens can come back in.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes. Takes it. There's the cover. Excuse me. That was simple.
Oh, it's good defense there. Timmy Moblin.
Very good ball movement from Utah, though. They set up a nice mold that committed a bunch of resources from the NOLA Gold, which created the space out wide.
And that's what I'd like to see more from Utah, Ben, is the kind of sucking in more defenders and using their pace out wide.
I agree with you entirely. I think early on in the game we saw that they were a little stagnant. The attack wasn't too dynamic. They were just playing stationary alphas, and they've now adjusted their play. It's looking a lot better.
It's a big lineup for New Orleans here. Geez,
Nice touch right there.
That's the fourth one in a row that hasn't been fruitful for them.
The Stormy Mormon, Matt Jensen, got his hand on that one. And there's big old Lance Williams. He's a truck.
A little indecisive there at the back of the breakdown. Good tackle. You'd like to see Utah use this now. Now they should use the ball wide. Again, they slow it down for some reason.
NOLA defense is up to the task so far.
Ika?
Yeah, shocker.
They could be in trouble here. No one's young for Utah.
There's just absolutely no reason for that ball to be thrown out of the back of a well-run ruck, and then they give away a penalty.
Again, another piggyback out of the deep within their own half.
Offsides, Utah.
I mean, that pass, that outlet pass from the 9 there, I mean, under absolutely no pressure, it's got to be a lot cleaner, especially when you're going forward and you're up a man. I just think they could use their ball a little quicker from the breakdowns. They are making positive yards in the hit-ups, and they're slowing their own ball down, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you speaking from experience. I know that you're a 9 yourself, Jeff. Right. I've seen you could throw a good spiral pass.
Yeah. I also like to use the ball real quick when it hits the ground, and it's if I've made positive meters. I understand getting into your structure.
Zach Striffler.
Yeah, so Zach's going to come back on. Oh, not just yet. I guess when Hubie comes back, Kevin Sullivan will come off.
Striffler, the leading tackler in MLR. He's done a great job thus far this season.
It looks like Sullivan's going to stay in for Bidens, which is kind of a normal substitution pattern for. There's another one knocked forward by New Orleans. Good idea, just a little. Just didn't execute it properly.
So Bidens is out for the game.
Yeah, so actually, Hubie was in the sin bin, and they looked like they're going to go with Kevin Sullivan. Like I said, it's kind of a normal substitution pattern for New Orleans. Hubie goes about 50 or 52.
You see Burstich right behind Kevin Sullivan. There he is right there. There's Sullivan's the other. Burstich is the one what's in the camera right now. What's he meant since he's come back from that hand injury?
Well, I have to be very careful about what I say about this dude. He's a mean guy. He's affectionately known as El Cucaracha. He's the kind of guy that just likes to bite down on his mouth guard and just run straight.
He was the MVP of the team last season, correct?
He was. Just a hard-nosed man. Having him back, there's a no-nonsense attitude. You're not making excuses when he's around. Otherwise,
Perfect time to talk about Ryan Fitzgerald, what he's done in bringing this mix. You were here last year. The team was good. They had some injuries. They had some close losses. But this team right now he's assembled has been phenomenal.
Oh yeah, Ryan is man. He's I can't speak well enough about the dude. He's done an outstanding job. He's recruited a lot lot of talented players, but the one thing about him is very deliberate in the kind of guy that he chooses. If someone, it doesn't matter if you're the most phenomenal rugby player in the whole world, if you're acting up, if you have a bad attitude, you're not going to fit in, and he's not going to offer you a job here.
And that's what I've noticed. I mean, in this sport, I know it's about camaraderie, but this team in particular, y'all say it all the time, your mates, not teammates, and it's evident just by the person in the office walking around. You guys really like each other and love playing with each other.
Yeah, that's true, and you start to see it when you find a little bit of a difficulty. You start to see the guys really pull together quite tight, and that's probably why the boys have pulled a few games out of the fire.
Josh Anderson with the ball. There's Ika. Tosses it on to Elkington. That's a big man right there.
Yeah, so they got some numbers out to the right if he uses it, but the ball slowed down, so.
There's Reeves.
Steps back in. I'd like to come back to the left side, but New Orleans has got numbers out there. It's a good tackle by Kane.
So
may have held him up.
Utah dominating both territory and possession in the early stages of the second half.
They got some trouble here if they move
Reeves over to
great tackle.
Gannon Moore. Gannon Moore sees an opening. This is a football player right here. Big time football player, and he gets the easy try right there. He played football at Southwest Minnesota State. Hard to stop, fast and explosive.
Yeah, but I mean that's a tackle that needs to be made. I mean that tackle needs to be made. I mean he's not coming at full pace on that. He slips through. If you watch, he's stopped right there, and then he just goes and he restarts. Now that's a tackle that's got to be made.
Well, Maupin played running back at De La Salle when they had 150 straight wins. He didn't play defense.
Yeah, but you see, I mean, it's not like Gannon Moore was on stride and broke through. I mean, he was at a dead stop and he started again. You would hope the tackle would be made, or at least some covered defense would come over to assist there, and there wasn't. New Orleans just kind of got lazy on defense.
That's one of the guys you said, Jeff, before the match, that he could easily be a member of the Gold. Talent-wise, he's very good. This guy's explosive. He also is a U.S. Eagle. He's got some experience there, and was Baska's teammate with the KC Blues, so Baska knows him very well.
Yeah, I think, Benny, you may have played with him a bit too, didn't you?
Yeah, so I may be a different Gannon Moore, because that number 13 there isn't the Gannon Moore that I know, so I'll have to get that one checked after the game.
Big conversion right there, O'Malley. It's 14-12 now. Listen, now it's getting a little close. Here's a replay.
Yeah, here it is. They move the ball wide. Reeves gets the ball into space. You got to make that tackle.
Yeah.
A good slip right there. A couple of guys overrun, kind of take a tough angle. JP gives it an effort there. You may try to clip the heels, but look, the guy got into space, but tackle's got to be made in those channels. Again, we talk about that wide channel, Ben. That's where it's been. Teams have been exploiting us.
You need to use the full width of the field.
Right.
Otherwise, the defenses are too strong. You're not gonna.
Look at this.
The Storm and Mormon up the middle of the field.
Matt Jensen, there's the whistle, though.
So we got a forward pass. Again, Scotty Green seems to be a little bit more acutely aware of the forward passes than maybe the ref, but that's his job. That is his job, is to see that. Wow. I don't know about this one, guys. That looks pretty lateral to me. That's a tough call. That should be, in my opinion, Ben. In my opinion, Ben, that's a call that should be made by the referee. I don't know.
Yeah, that's very marginal. Utah perhaps feel a little hard done by there.
Yeah.
Again, a big first scrum of the second half. We see a big Franco's come on here. He's a former South African under-20 player. He's been doing quite well in the league so far.
First time he hasn't started all season long. They say he's the lawyer and the philosopher of the group. They say he's the wisest man on that team.
Oh, really?
At the young age of 22.
I played against him. I thought he had room temperature IQ, but no, he's a good bloke. He's a good bloke. He was a good opponent, a good adversary.
That's why we have you in the booth. Room temperature IQ. I love it.
That's quick. Yes, beautiful.
There's the opening. There he goes. JP Eloff. This is going to be an easy one for the leading scorer for the NOLA Gold.
Hey, what a way to respond. What a way to respond. Finally getting some possession and some field, some territory, and hopefully hopefully this will result in 7 points for the boys.
It's as if they were listening to your criticism, and they got the opening right there, and they gave it to the playmaker.
Yeah, I mean, Tristan Blewett shoots that gap. He keeps, he breaks through the tackle to keep the ball alive. You see it here. Good tackle interiorly. But see, watch how New Orleans uses their ball real quick. They've made some positive yards. Now the ball's going to ship. Utah's not in any defensive structure. Tristan exploits that gap. JP with a
Really
nice
great
support
play.
line. Yeah. And JP outruns the rest of his teammates.
And what I love about that play, literally every back touched the ball.
Yeah, I
Really,
mean-
from 9 to 15, they all touched it.
Well, but
Maybe more.
It's the structure. It's Holden uses the ball quickly. Kahn takes the ball in, retains the football, and then they set the next phase real quickly, which goes back to what Ben and I were talking about, and how New Orleans is using the ball a little bit quicker.
Everybody but Feeks and Maupin touched it on that as far as the backs go. Nice little play there. Younger.
You watch here. Tristan shoots the gap, he keeps a leg drive. Great line by JP.
When JP gets open, it's over. I mean,
Yeah.
you know it's done. Hey, catch the Pensacola Blue Wahoos on CST this spring and all through the summer. The Wahoos are in the middle of a 5-game homestand against the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah,
Don't miss delayed coverage of the remaining matchups tomorrow at 4 and 8. Visit our website for the full broadcast schedule, coxsportstv.com.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take the Jumbo Shrimp in that one.
The Jumbo Shrimp. I'll take
having a
Jumbo
good
Shrimp all day
season.
long. The Wahoos, by the way, that's the other name for the Virginia Cavaliers. Congratulations to them for winning their first national championship in basketball.
Yeah.
I digress. Let's get back to rugby.
Well, they got a few favorable calls.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Hey, let's get back to the rugby, boys.
New Orleans, I'm not real sure why we got the kickoff and we tried to exit real quickly, didn't make a lot of meters. That one was a little bit.
Yeah, that kick was off the side of the boot. Oh, that's it.
See a little maul
They've
set
formed
up
the
here.
maul again. It worked well for them last time. Looks like they're trying to get around the corner of the goal. Work infield, but well defended.
That's a good line by O'Malley. Cena's got to go forward. Ika should use his ball quickly.
Lance Williams with the ball. Passes over to Reeves now.
That's nothing.
Back to Reeves.
That's nothing. New Orleans is able to realign really quickly because Utah's just not sucking in enough defenders here. And the overloads are few and far between. I don't know, someone was...
He's quick tap and he's
There's
off and
Ika.
away.
Yeah.
Off to Loudy.
Utah's really showing their intent in the second half. Really good stuff.
There's the first player off the bench. We call him Vanberg. We called him earlier, Franco.
That's a good carry from Franco there.
Yeah. Good tackle there.
Utah just trying to muscle their way over here.
Vandenberg picks the ball up.
Seems like they're a little far out to start kind of picking and going. Do you agree, Ben? Or
Look,
10 meters
I think it's been a weapon for them in the past. They're big dudes, very, very strong. I think it's always been a challenge to match a physicality in these games.
Yeah.
You see he's almost punched over just there.
Yeah, Reeves with good feet, though.
Lance Williams takes it.
Yeah, they use the ball wide. They got numbers wide, but it seems like it's gotten slowed down in the breakdown.
There's massive numbers out to the right for Utah
I know.
if they can.
Oh, he could be held up. Oh.
Kane Thompson.
Fantastic tackle
Nice
from
play.
Kane Thompson there.
Now New Orleans has been able to realign the defense.
O'Malley to Reeves. Reeves gets closer.
Tristan.
Back to O'Malley. Great tackle right there.
Yeah, Tristan came off his line, and it was beneficial.
He did a great job on the interior defense there. O'Malley stepped on the inside, and Tristan's right there to fill him in.
I'll tell you what, O'Malley is a gamer, and I'm not talking video games. That's the kind of guy you want on your team, no matter who's coaching him. This guy's like a coach on the field, and he gives it everything he has when he gets on the pitch.
Yeah, we talked earlier at the beginning of the telecast how he's a great striker with the ball, and you can see that explosive step, and he's 6'2", he's got a long stride, so he gets through that gap real quickly. And he's got his head on a swivel looking to offload once he shoots that gap at the second level. And he's in Utah. That's the kind of style I think Utah would be effective at, is shooting those gaps and then having guys running straight onto the football. Because getting it out wide is it's a little slow for them.
See Franco's just down there's lost his boot.
Injury timeout.
Yeah, he does have that law degree from Pretoria. He's only 22. I mean, I'm looking at you, counselor. They get him started early.
Yeah,
over there.
I got mine at 29, but I
South
took a little
Africa.
time off, you know. Yeah, must be as smart of a student as he is, or as good of a rugby player as he is.
Family guy. He looks older than 22.
Yeah.
He's just got married last year. He got a baby daughter already. First time in the U.S. First time not starting. I mean, that was a kind of a surprise.
I mean, he's going to kind of be an impact sub here. He's a good.
Very well could be
Side
being
exit.
rested this game. I mean, he's made a massive impact since being on, several carries and pretty solid scrum. So as we discussed earlier, it's important that with the long season, at certain points, certain guys are rested, allowed time to recover.
That's critical. Yeah, you see here, they get the good platform here, and I don't know why he came in from the side. It was a big number 4. Just absolutely no reason to do that. You had the platform, the ball was down, they're moving forward. He looked like he just got a little over ego to seal that left side of the maul, Ben.
I mean, that's a tough one. They were really on the offensive there, and it's a big get out of free jail card for the NOLA Gold.
Yeah, that's the first line out in the last 5 that New Orleans has successfully executed. Like to see this ball get to the ground. Now you'll see they'll hit this ball up one more time. There he goes. Scotty with the exit.
That one was a bit ugly.
Yeah.
It resembles a kick I did a couple of weeks ago against Glendale.
Yeah, I
I
saw
think.
that one, Ben. That was very suspect.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy the video session on the Monday, that's for sure.
I wish I'd been in there for that one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good line. Going to soften the middle up here.
Good chop tackle there from Matt Harmon.
So you see O'Malley's going to just use his forwards here.
There's an overlap here.
See,
if they can get
that looked a little bit forward, that pass.
Loudy.
Yeah. But he's out there with a big number 8 who's not running a real strong line with him.
That's Les Soloai you talk about. Basketball player at BYU Hawaii, football player at Hawaii.
He's a big fella, but you know, you got Loudy makes a good little step there, and he's looking for the number 8 to come through at some.
Hey, real quick, Soloai, I'll come back after the break, but this guy was on the street about a week ago, and now he's starting at the number 8. We're going to come back and talk about that right here on Cox Sports Television. Welcome back to Gold Stadium. You see that upcoming schedule right there. Hey, tough one coming up against Seattle, defending champions. Then to Austin, a couple home matches that we hope you all can come out to in May. San Diego and Houston wrap up with 2 of the top teams vying for playoffs. Rooney and San Diego towards the end of the season. It's going to be a great last 2 months of Major League Rugby here. But hey, we talked about Soloai. There's the owner, Tim Falcon right there, and that's part of the VIP tent. That's the edge of it, but that is a great way to go if you want to come to a game. Check that out. All the food and drink you can have and drink up. It's a lot of fun. I like the picket fence too. It adds a little bit to that.
And New Orleans secures that line out again. They're getting back in rhythm.
The maul here.
See where we get it stagnating a
Well
bit.
defended by Utah.
Looks like Michael Baska's in at 9 for holding Younger. You can see that. Yeah, there's a lot of space. If we can get that ball out of the maul, maybe Scotty Gale can find something back here. this wing is already up on defense on the maul, which gives a lot of backside space. There's a penalty there.
Looks like Kane Thompson's down.
Yeah.
Seeing our trainer Ryan Pickett run out there. Hopefully
Yeah,
nothing
Brad.
serious.
Yeah, got to give him a plug, man. He does it day in and day out with you guys. Big Red, Ryan Pickard, the athletic trainer for the Gold.
Yeah, Lazarus hands, as we all call him. Yeah, he's a big asset. So the penalty here looks to have been for perhaps collapsing the maul.
Yeah, I mean, number 5 is clearly Matt Jensen's doing what he can to bring that maul down.
Cam Dolan's asking for some help.
Yeah.
One way or the
It's
other.
a very, very strong appeal from Cam Dolan.
Yeah.
Reminds me of my cricket days.
So at 62 minutes in now, you see Nate Osborne making some substitutions. You got Matty Harmon coming in.
Yep, the 1-inch punisher.
Yeah.
He's onto the field.
And there's Billy Stewart, former Tulane Green Wave player, played for me at New Orleans. Great kid.
Billy's
Tough as
put
nails.
on 30 pounds since he played for
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
I pulled Billy out of a summer touch and said, you need to start playing big boy rugby.
Is that
over in
how
New
it
Orleans.
started?
Yeah, he was playing for Tulane, my alma mater, and he came over and started playing for New Orleans during his university time, but after his season was over.
Yeah, it's funny. Last year I didn't really see eye to eye with Billy Stewart. We got involved in a couple fisticuffs, but this year we've really got on. Maybe it had something to do with the 30 pounds he put on. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. He outweighs you now. By the way, that was Kenny Scott they showed earlier, number 19, and he's been a rugby player for a long, long time. Obviously, Nate told me he played. The head coach, Nate Osborne, said he's played 20 matches against Kenny Scott, so he's a little bit up there in age.
Yeah, and it's kind of unfortunate. Utah's been beset by injuries, and playing in a cold climate, you're a little bit more susceptible to injuries. I mean, even today, you're looking at Don Patty as that Ben talked about earlier. John Cullen, massive for them at 8, and Vanacola. Yeah, I mean. I remember I saw John Cullen, one of the first rugby matches he played up in Aspen in 2013. He was about 300 pounds. He had just come off the University of Utah football team, but he could still run like the wind, and it's no surprise he's become a high-level rugby player.
A massive leader, military man, Army.
Yeah.
U.S. Eagle.
Yep, U.S. Eagle. So if you're watching, John, we want you back on that pitch soon.
Right. Yeah, you always want to play against the top players. Even, you come out here, you hate to see a team that's devastated by injuries. Because as a competitor, you want to play against the best players too. You don't want to have to play against a team that is struggling through injuries and struggling through personnel issues. Ben can tell you that.
Yeah,
you want to go up against the best player
That's why a lot of guys do it. They want to test themselves against the best player at the highest level they can. It's all part of the challenge.
It's a good platform here. Let's see if they get a little push going. It's a little stagnant.
They're well defended by the Gold so far.
Now it's coming
They're
apart.
starting to generate some good go forward here. Broken away. 5 meters out. This is panic stations to the Gold. There goes Franco. Having the trundle.
Yeah.
Strong leg drive. He could be over here. I think we need Cam Dolan appealing.
Oh,
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
there it is.
There's a
worked
try.
try.
This is a ball game right now.
Yeah.
Kudos to the Utah forwards there. That was a really well worked passage of play from them to generate the pick and drive and score the points.
Lance Williams, the all-time leading tackler at the University of Hawaii in football. Well, he gets another try. He got the first try last time they played against the Gold, and he gets this one right in, squeaks it on in. Looked like it was a little close.
Well, it looked, at first when I looked at it, it looked like it may have been a little double move there, but I can't see from that angle. If there was another angle, it looked like he may have gone to the ground with the ball forward, and then once again pushed the ball forward to the try line, which is what we call a double move, which is improper and usually a penalty. But again, up here in the booth and not on the field. So
Looks like Utah have seemed to make a few substitutions. Number 19 in Tall Drink of Water has just come on.
Yep, that's Kenny Scott. Well, Kenny Scott we talked about earlier, the loose forward. like I said, he played against Nate his second year with the team.
Yes, of course, of course.
He's also the guy that played with Baska with the KC Blues.
Oh, yeah.
So Baska knows him very well. Michael Baska, of course, we talked about him. He's back. He's in the game as well. Last time we were here, he scored the game-winning try. It was Modi to O'Connor to Baska for the win against the Austin Elite.
You can't miss Michael Basker out there with his mullet. He's riding on the wings of freedom.
The wings of America, he likes to call it.
It's a good kick here.
That's wonderful.
Tim
kick.
under pressure.
Really using the wind to great effect.
Tim
Mills going to have it. Mills straight in the. Yeah, well, good run from Tim.
That's a good carry.
Look at that mullet. Gale with the kick.
That's a good nudge. The Utah's back though. They'll probably counterattack here.
Guys, it wouldn't be a NOLA Gold match if it wasn't close. All matches except for the one against Houston have been decided within 10 points. And here we are yet again.
Nice feet by Michael Basker.
Here he goes.
Basker's a former 15, so he knows how to step in space. That's a little bit
Forced pass there. Didn't need to be made.
right.
Oh.
We got away with one though.
Alex Tucci was looking for glory.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, that's a little long for a tip pass there.
Tucci's a New Yorker by way of Fort Lauderdale, but he looks a little bit like they call Zach Strickler Tucci.
Oh, here on
Tucci.
camera, here we can see Basker is zoned in on that mullet. That's what the fans have come to see today.
Those two guys, that was a hair picture. It looked like a hairband from the 80s.
I don't care for many of the boys' haircuts, like the moustaches and the blonde hair, but this one I have a lot of time for. If I wasn't going bald, I'd probably try spot one myself. Yeah.
I'd pay money to see that. Can we start growing it before the next broadcast? I'll put you a sideline reporter.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, I know his lovely girlfriend Diane isn't real happy about.
No,
about
the best story about it was his parents surprised him, and I don't know if he'd broached the topic with them, but they were totally and utterly shocked when they saw him. In fact, I think his father put up a massive bounty for him to get a haircut. So I think El Cucaracho is on that trail.
I tell you what, he had played 1 minute in the entire season before coming in that Austin Elite game and getting the game-winning try, and that was all over Major League Rugby, that highlight.
But boy, has he done well.
Yeah.
He really
Great speed.
brings great tempo.
Well, yeah, it's one of the positions you usually like to substitute around the 60 or 65. You're 9 if you watch Holden. He gets around the field, and you're usually exhausted after 60, 65. So then injection of pace and fresh legs is massive, and it's paid off.
That's
for
a
them.
big scrum
That's a big
from the
scrum
goal.
there.
That's a penalty.
Yeah,
penalty
big scrum.
advantage. The boys will be very happy with that outcome.
Yeah, Matty Harmon, you can see him kind of pumped up. Hasn't played in a few weeks. Strong boy.
Yeah, you're a good friend of yours, correct, Ben?
Yes, very good friend. Yes.
He came in off the bench one game and got the first 15. That means basically, for you new to rugby, that's the player of the week, the team. It's like an all-star team each week they put out. And so it's nice when you have reserves. He was a college All-American at Life University that can come in and play just as well as the starters.
It's a very strong performer, and we're quite fortunate to have the depth that we do this year. So I expect now that he's back from injury, he's going to contribute massively in the back end of the season.
Yeah, and he's actually come in for Cam Falcon. I mean, Matty's primary position is hooker, but he can also play tight head, and you can see
Very versatile.
Eric Howard's still in the game, right?
Yeah.
Howard, you see number 18, Kevin Sullivan, who played at the Alabama for football of rugby, Cal Berkeley. He's been another great guy coming
That's
in.
a great throw from Eric there.
That's pretty.
And
Now this ball should go. It's a turn, knock on.
just
Playing
putting
some
themselves
advantage.
under pressure there.
He's a couple feet out of touch, but
Another case of disorientation because of the heat, I'd say.
So a little knock on in the tackle. Made the ball spilled forward when Nicola went into contact.
Guys, we're down the last 10 minutes, and it's another close NOLA Gold match.
Yeah,
Literally.
same score as the final up in Salt Lake, 21-19. But I reckon there's going to be a few points put up in the last 10.
Hey, Ben, late in the game, I mean, listen, you're coming from Australia. I'm not sure exactly what the temperature is, but 10 minutes left. It's New Orleans heat. You got some humidity out there. What's it take the toll on a player like yourself?
Well, hopefully by this stage of the game I'm off the field sipping a cool Powerade. But yeah, it's very difficult, very challenging. It saps, it's energy sapping, and you dehydrate very quickly.
Was it a shock to your system last year when you got those June and July games?
Yeah. As soon as I showed up here, I had people saying, I was complaining about the heat. They say, just wait a month. Just wait a month. Yeah. Oh, boy, did I wait, and did it come.
Right.
It delivered.
Yeah, Benny's used to June, July, and August being a little cooler, but it gets.
That's my
Benny
winter.
can tell you it gets kind of balmy in Brisbane too, in Queensland.
A good opportunity for us to rock the budgie smugglers, though.
Yeah.
So Elof let the ball go through the back of the
again,
try
you
zone.
saw that with Nick Feeks earlier when Nick was trying to get crafty, and it was a good kick. It was a good idea. That one, the ball's just carrying
the wind.
Yeah, the wind, and the pitch is pretty hard. We haven't had a lot of rain here in New Orleans in the last week and a half. So yeah, that's unfortunate for Utah because it was actually a good idea. It just unfortunately just spilled through the back a touch, and New Orleans has got a good attacking scrum here.
Look for Taylor Howden to create something special off this set piece. He's now on the field outside of
last year's captain, right?
Absolutely. He's another big leader within the team.
Yeah, it's a massive
That's
scrum.
another massive scrum.
I mean, Matt Harmon is just destroying people right now.
He's putting in the shift.
Yeah. There's Scotty with the beautiful eyes.
Baska takes the pitch into Howden.
Taylor Howden.
Take it in. Taylor Howden with the try.
Oh, sensational.
Yeah.
What did I say? What did I say? Wait for Taylor Howden to create something off the set piece, and there we go. Over for 5.
That all starts, though, with Scotty Gale's vision. Scotty gets the ball, and, he doesn't look to ship the ball. He looks to space. You watch Scotty Gale here. He takes a peek out wide. He realizes it's not there, and he smartly takes the ball up. Watch, not there. Beautiful line by Baska in the inside support line. Beautiful. He's got options left and right there, Ben. He could go to Tristan or he could go to Taylor. So that's great rugby in the second and third level with support runners on both sides of you, and that's what you want when you make a break like that. You just don't want to sit back and watch a guy try to take it to the house. You want those support line runners.
Yeah, the scrum had the backs on the back foot there.
Massive.
They in order to stop that passage of play from the goal, really needed to get a good shoulder into Scott there. It kind of closely resembled the blind man in the brothel, that tackle attempt.
Hey, this is huge. I love the reference. The blind man, the brothel. That was a big try because it keeps a one-possession game. But even bigger, that's the bonus point. Once again, the Gold have got bonus points literally in all games but the first one against Utah. That was huge.
That's beautiful, dummy there. Holds that defender. But again, it's the numbers there. It's the options that Baska has there. And that's his teammates supporting him here. Beautiful gap. Baska with a nice inside line.
Ventura, got to give you credit, man. You called this exact play. It's like you're on this team or something.
Yeah, something like that. But even though I have no knowledge of backline play, I just stick my head in the scrum and then hope for the best.
I love when Howard gets a score. He came in week 2, and he didn't start week 1 after being the captain. He ends up being the MLR Player of the Week after he came off the bench the game before.
The Silver Fox, he can pull a rabbit out of the hat, that's for sure.
33-year-old. It comes in, I shouldn't say 33. He'll be 33 in September. And for backs, that's kind of getting on the end of your career, isn't it? Those are the fast guys, like the receivers and the running back.
But he's a very skillful guy, and his age does not show at all. So he's.
There's a little ugliness.
That could have been a knock on there.
A little argy-bargy going on there between Nikola Bursic and someone from Utah, but guess it wasn't seen. It's getting a little.
Nolan Tua Mohali.
Good job from Matt Jensen to keep the ball in play.
Yeah, we got something going on here. The ref has seen.
Perhaps a double knock on there.
Yeah.
Or the no advantage in the play.
Big John Sullivan. Some say he's the strongest player in MLR. Here's some extracurriculars right here. Check it out.
Watch here.
Oh, yeah. Bursis, you do not want to go up that
I told
alley.
you.
You do not want to go there. Look at him.
He
Look
lives
at him
for
smiling.
these moments.
Oh, my goodness. Look at his face. He goes, I will murder you.
I'm surprised he didn't blow him a kiss there. That's his signature move.
I'm going to tell you, he must not have read the press clippings about Bursic, because that's one guy on this planet I would not mess with.
Well, Nicholas Smart, you can't get away with the stuff you used to be able to. I mean, any kind of punch, you're going to be sent off. So smart play by him. The olden days, they probably would have let him throw one or two and just put them back on, taking them out of the sandbox and put them back on their sideline. But the game different now. Nicholas Smart, you're up 9 points. We need him on the field. And Smart keeping his temper there.
Was that Elkington? Because he's no joke either.
No, I think it was the big. It was the big guy, O'Hala, number 4.
The guy with the first start.
Yeah.
Right? Hulu Holo.
The referee's chatting
number 4.
Yeah.
Saya? Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
Saya,
yeah, that's it.
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy's
6'4", 250. I mean, he's big himself.
The handshake.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And they're probably mumbling under their breath something not nice about the other guy right now, even after the handshake.
No. But the thing about rugby is whatever happens on the field stays on the field.
Yeah.
The boys will be having the beer and the laugh at the social afterwards. So that's just something that I think is quite unique and special about the game.
No question about it. I'd say that's everybody that's trying to get into the sport of rugby. These are gentlemen after the game. They crack heads, and then it's all over at the end. Have a little beer together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really impressed with Coach Nate Osborne's substitutions here. Really huge impact. And we talked about that earlier, that a little bit of the letdown in New Orleans during the teams in the representative side was because of the lack of depth.
Penalty to the goal,
Right.
surely.
He's
Another
really
powerful
utilized.
scrum.
Yeah, he's
Scrum.
utilizing that depth today, and you see it with these scrums right now with Matt Harmon in there and Kevin Sullivan, and then Big John Sullivan and Billy Stewart with the push. I'm sure Billy Stewart's been underneath you. Billy Stewart's been underneath you in some scrums. What's he like with the push?
Oh, used to be 6 foot, mate.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Hey, since you're talking about Nate, can I throw a little prop for the assistant coaches too? These guys don't get enough love. Todd Fitzgerald does a phenomenal job. Charlie B, without the R. Charlie without the R. Charlie B from Fiji does an amazing job as well. And of course the trainer, Ryan Pickard.
Yeah, I coached with Todd at New Orleans. Todd and I, incredible rugby mind, real keen acumen to the little things in rugby. Great guy. It doesn't say a lot, but what he says, when he says something, it's very measured and very direct and very apropos. One of the best guys in the New Orleans rugby community, and I'm really happy that he's found some success here.
And of course, you can't forget our strength coaches, Bumley and Ed Costner. They really do a lot for us, and having a top-notch facility like the West Bank Athletic Centre is really paying dividends.
Yeah, Brom Lee's been with you guys for a while. You got obviously your new strength and conditioning. I knew him back when he was with the San Antonio Spurs when I was running around the NBA circles.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. Eddie, he's a good dude, loves a yarn, and got a great sense of humour and knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, good pressure from Eric Howard off that line out. Maybe holding him up here and maybe get him all out of this. No, unfortunately.
Almost a very big play from Eric there.
New Orleans lost that line out. I guess the referee thought it wasn't straight. So, see,
the Gold just need to hold out here for another 3 minutes. We're entering the final stages of the game.
Nice crisp passing right there. There's Tanada Loudy.
That one looked a little forward.
Oh, he's hurt though. He's hurt. He's pulling up lame.
Yeah.
One of the more dynamic players in this league. He led the league in scoring last year, leading try scorer, I should say. Dynamic athlete, baseball, basketball, football, wrestling, soccer, and track, but he's down on the pitch right now.
Yeah, hopefully nothing serious there.
Yeah.
One of the many Tongans on this team. That's a big, strong Tongan community up there in Salt Lake City.
Oh, yeah. Always had a strong Tongan and Samoan presence on their teams, even before the professional level, with Park City Haggis and the other teams out there.
Yeah, he's holding his wrist right there. Hey,
his wrist.
Hope it's not serious because he had a wrist injury. Excuse me, that was another player that had the injury.
Is it his knee or his wrist?
He's a tough kid.
He seems
he's
to be
not
walking
coming
fine.
out.
Yes, that's good to see.
Yeah.
Times.
Well, it looks like they are going to sub him out. Number 22 is going to come in for him, and
Time's ticking down now. Utah are going to have to make a big play very soon.
Yeah, Josh Whippy, another Kiwi, national champion at BYU. Usually plays
Two-time national champion.
Usually plays 15, but he's very versatile. So, New Orleans stole that one. Big line-out jump. Oh, massive carry in the middle. John Sullivan. Yeah.
I don't want to get in his way either.
Yeah. This doesn't look too good here.
Saw John Sullivan flipping 1,000-pound tires this week.
Yeah. That's what I heard. 1,000-pound tire.
1,000 pounds.
At the West Bank Athletic Club? Crazy. What do you do, 2,000?
Oh, yeah, of course, mate.
Scott Gale.
Just cleaning the ball up. Gonna try to look for an exit here sooner or later. Probably want a couple more punches up.
So here we are, NOLA being very clever in their play here, just taking their time, deliberately playing phase to phase to wind down the clock.
Yeah.
And there we are, another piggyback. Utah desperate, and this very well could be the game.
Yeah, you kick this one into touch. You got a minute left. You probably just do a quick line out, bring it down to your 9, and the 9's going to probably slot it straight into touch. The game should be over.
Can't be too hard on the Utah player that's given away the penalty there. I mean, they had to try something desperate in order to score a quick try.
Right, you had to get the ball back, and you take a chance there. You're down 9, you need 2 scores, so you got to make something happen.
That's a very good kick there too, into the wind.
Good time to thank everybody that makes it possible for us up here. The people in the truck, producer Tim Fanguy, director Walter Volpetti. We got Ryan Doyle and the rest of the crew. Jared Janke, Travis Hose, Chris Meader. Excuse me if I mispronounced. I know Sam Englehart, good friend. Josh Smith, Nathan Lawrence, Ron Kennedy, Ryan Doyle, Donovan Canali. Excuse me if I mispronounced that one as well. Glenn Riebert, Savon Brown, Rayshon McCassell, Angele Simeon, and Peter Marshall.
So
Thank you.
Michael Baska asking the ref right here how much time's left, and ref said last play, and so Michael just kicks it into touch, and that's the game.
By the way, this is the 8th out of 9 wins and still 10 points or below. The NOLA Gold plays some close matches.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good league. I mean, you're not here to blow out. A lot of teams, you're not going to blow teams out at this level. Everyone's a really strong rugby player, and we like the close games. It makes it more exciting, and the tactics are a lot more interesting when it's a close game than when it's a blowout.
Tell you what, we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the match, and I got to tell you, it's been a blast working with you guys. We'll get into that as well. Hey, NOLA Gold with the 8th victory of the season. We'll be right back. NOLA Gold Rugby on Cox Sports Television was brought to you by Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the NOLA Gold Rugby on Cox Sports Television was brought to you by Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the official beer of the NOLA Gold. By Boomtown, the official hotel and casino of the NOLA Gold. And by Louisiana Tourism. Don't live in the moment, be the moment, and feed your soul. Well, one thing for sure, the NOLA Gold were consistent today. They had 7 points in each of the 20-minute stretches, but they got another victory, 28-19. It's been a pleasure working with you guys. By the way, got to give shout out to everybody that helped us out today. But let's look at the standings right now. At the top of the table stands the Gold still.
Yeah, really great to see the big 5 points today. Again, it's massive. You've got to win your home games and secure those bonus points, given how long the season is. A very good effort from Utah. They a lot better than their record suggests, and hopefully they'll pick up a couple more wins as the season goes on.
And look at Rooney right there, though. They played 2 less games. They have a potential for 10 more points to have up to 10 games. They'd still be a point behind, but this is so tight, Jeff. Look at the 1 through 5, and even number 6, Toronto's played 8 road games already. They are at home the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, there's some advantage to playing at home, but as New Orleans showed, they went up there and beat Toronto. The Legion's a team I'm really interested in. The personnel they have, I think they have a good shot of catching New Orleans, but they just haven't seemed to put it together right now. Rooney's tough, and as they play down here. But, yeah, look, New Orleans in the catbird seat right now.
Mates, it's been a pleasure, man. I cannot wait for the next time we might do this again. Ian McNulty, we might have problems. Hey, thanks everyone for joining us for NOLA Gold Rugby on Cox Sports Television. Hey, don't miss the gold on the road coming up on Austin May 4th, because they have a little bye week right up here, but at 5 p.m. on CST. I'm Scott Alexander, and the final score is 28-19. I got to thank Ben Tarr and Jeff Ormsby. It's been a great day at Gold Stadium. The Gold are at the top of the table.